As the capital of what is repeatedly crowned the happiest country in the world, we had high hopes for Helsinki. And guess what? It didn't disappoint. Come with us and let us show you the things you absolutely shouldn't miss on your first visit to this Scandi city. Let's kick off with the obvious, the sauna. It's an integral part of Finnish culture. The Finns are believed to have been baking themselves in huts from as early as 7000 BC. Saunas are well and truly everywhere in Finland, but if you can only pick one, we definitely recommend going to one that allows you to dip directly into the sea afterwards. A great option is Loulu, which is Helsinki's cool and contemporary restaurant / sauna / party establishment, hovering directly over the coastline. After your stint in the sauna, you can hop straight off a wooden platform into the Baltic waters and enjoy the stunning views over the sea whilst you freeze your little bottom off.
Who's there? Who is it?
With the toddler in tow, we chose to go to the sauna at Ala Sea Pool, which has an outdoor swimming pool that's 27 degrees all year round, or so I'm told. There's a men's, women's and mixed gender sauna to choose from, a sea pool to cool off in afterwards, as well as a proper swimming pool and a children's pool.
Swimming in the kiddies pool. So warm. -5. No, it's +5. +5 degrees. +5. 27 in here apparently. Yeah, we're in the city center of Helsinki.
So we managed to time our sauna session expertly and perfectly with Rhea's nap. There's also a restaurant and cafe attached which look out over the harbour, so it's a great spot for a little refreshment after a relaxing spa date. Another great option is Lona Sauna, which is literally an island with a sauna on it. We didn't have time for it on this visit, but it's definitely one for you to consider and we'll have to come back for it. Speaking of islands though, Helsinki is of course an archipelago, which is pretty unique for a capital, and you absolutely must make the best of this on a visit. There are so many islands you could go see, a lot of which are very well connected with ferries. We hopped on a ferry to visit Suomenlinna. Oh my god, I'm butchering this, I'm so sorry. It's a sea fortress composed of 8 joined up islands. We didn't actually realise before going, but it's fully inhabited, so there are restaurants and bars and schools and beaches. You could totally make a full day of it. The sea fortress is actually a star fort which was built in the 18th century in an effort to protect Finland against Russia.
You don't have to wait.
There are over 300 islands in the archipelago though, ones where you can hike, camp, swim and just immerse yourself in nature and just beautiful Finnish landscape. Our stay in Helsinki was actually part of a longer trip to Finland, and we had already had the chance to explore some of the natural landscapes that the country has to offer. I'll link the video here of course. Otherwise I think we would have probably just island hopped the entire time.
Whilst we have Rhea on the swings, I thought maybe we would say why we're actually in Helsinki. The main reason is that targeted advertising is extremely effective. There's a time when Jack and I both had targeted advertising from the Finnish government to move to Helsinki. So this is a couple of years ago, and it was all over our Instagram, and it was just this campaign about how life in Helsinki is amazing and we should move, and it was like specifically targeted at people in both of our industries. And so we were separately getting these ads. Then we started talking about it. We were like, oh, you know, have you thought about Helsinki? It's by the sea. It sounds like life is pretty great. There's shared parental leave that you don't have to fight your employers for, and work-life balance seems amazing, and just, yeah, looks like a great place. Anyway, we've been talking about it for a couple of years. And then we're like, do you know what? We've never been to Finland. We've never been to Helsinki. So let's just go on holiday and check it out for ourselves. That's why we booked this trip, basically. Just because we'd been talking about Finland for so long and we just wanted to see what it's like.
Now, Finland is the home of Alvar Aalto and his Artec, and some world-class design and architecture, and I, for one, was incredibly excited to hit up some design hotspots. Amos Rex is a contemporary art museum where the attraction is not only the art, but the playful architecture of the place itself.
Okay.
And we loved the design museum. I always think a national design museum gives you a good idea of a nation's aesthetic, so I love including them in an itinerary. Helsinki has a whole design district, which is where a lot of its creative businesses are located. So if you are into your design, it's definitely worth having a wander around there. I stand by the fact that 90% of the reason we travel is to eat everything that humans have to offer. So of course we had to have a traditional Finnish dish, the salmon soup. It's a creamy chowder that is exactly what the Finnish weather calls for, warming and comforting. We had a particularly delicious one at the restaurant at Lolu, which is that sauna and restaurant place that I mentioned earlier. But I don't think they're hard to come by. We saw a really mouth-watering version at the harbour markets, for example.
What do we think?
Quite tasty.
It's a traditional Finnish pastry with egg and rice in the middle, that's all we know.
It's actually Karilin.
Do you actually know what it's called?
It's a Karilin pie.
And whilst we're on food, Jack and I love a good coffee hunt in any city. And we were only in Helsinki for 2 days, so whilst we couldn't go for quantity, we could definitely go for quality. We had brunch at flat number 14, which offered up some delicious brekkie small plates and of course coffee. We had to walk quite a way to get there, which was great actually, because we got to know a different part of the city. And in fact, we walked everywhere over the 48 hours that we were in Helsinki, which by my standards is the only real way to get to know a place.
My family has gained 2 dogs.
And my personal favourite was Ram Roasters. The pastries, the food, and the coffee were all absolutely spot on. Honestly, search no more for your daily dose of caffeine. I pride myself in nerding out on pre-trip research, and we were pretty pleased with everything we managed to do in the 2 days that we were in the city. But if you're a local or you've spent a bit more time in Helsinki, let us know any must-do recommendations that you think we missed. We'd love to go back and do a bit more exploring, maybe venture a little further afield. And hopefully also, if someone's come across this video whilst researching their trip to Finland, they can find everything they need between me here and you in the comments. Our stay ended with a sunrise flight, a sprint through Copenhagen airport, an almost missed connection back to the UK, but we made it and so did our bags, and that is what I call a finish.